Hi students, this is Mr. Matthews. I just wanted to take you through Science Fair assignment number 3 so you understand what the assignment is and kind of where we're going with STEM explorations. If you click on Science Fair and you scroll all the way down to Science Fair assignment number 3, you click on that and here are the directions. So if you are doing an experimental project, then the rubric is right here. And if you are doing a engineering project, the rubric is right here, okay? And you can see that everything is kind of laid out. So when you go over this assignment, just double check to make sure that you have everything in that assignment. It's always a good idea to use your rubric to double check your work before you turn it in. But the assignment itself, it's really about your materials, your procedures, and how you want to collect the data, the proposed data tables and graphs that you plan on submitting. Before you even start your experiment, you always should have your graphs and idea of what it is that you want to show to the reader as evidence, again, prior to you actually doing the experiment. So if we click here on the template, we have our procedure, our materials list, our procedure, and again, we don't use any pronouns, I, we, me. No one's interested about what you're doing. The reader just wants to know, how did the project occur? All right, it's kind of like a recipe, so you want to be as direct as possible. And then down here, your proposed data table and graph. Now, of course, if you are an engineering project, you're going to show all the different means of data collection when it comes to your goals. So you will actually copy and paste your spreadsheet on your cost analysis or your how you want to set up your data table for measuring the mass of an object, or any of those sorts. You're just going to copy and paste that here. You may not have graphs as an engineering project, but you at least have data tables. Right, for you experimental projects, yes, you will have a graph. And note, I want to highlight here, no bar graphs. This is high school, and in high school, the expectation is that you show a really, really rich data set. We can do bar graphs whenever we want, but they just show mere quantities of whatever it is that you collect. And at a bare minimum, right here, bare minimum, you need to have at least a box and whisker plot. We're going to show you some other means of expressing your data and analyzing that data. But for now, if you are doing an experimental project, we want to use line graphs and box and whisker plots. Okay, so in today's STEMX lesson, we're actually going to cover box and whisker plots just as a review of how to do them and how to analyze them. And even if you're not doing an experimental project, these are pieces of data that we'll be using in science and math throughout the course of the year as we get into some other studies and experiments. Okay, so here is the assignment. It is not due until October 18th. And so all that we're asking today in STEMX is that you go over some of the types of data that we can collect. So box and whisker plots is the first data set. Okay. You'll have some additional STEMX time in the coming days to actually complete this assignment, but I wanted to show you where it was and what we'll be doing in the future to complete this assignment.